All right, so welcome back to Driveway. We are here with our prototype racer once again, like always, I guess. Anyways, we're gonna mess around with some steering. So, here's the fun part. When I was kind of initially thinking of building this thing, I think I was planning on having it maybe a little bit longer, or I didn't take into account these suspension pieces back there. So now, what we're facing is, we're out of room. So what does that mean? That means there's no room for the steering rack, there's no room for the clutch and brake pedal that I previously had gotten. So that means you're pretty much hosed. Anyways, today we're gonna figure out how to not be hosed and move some of this stuff around. So stick around and see what we're up to. All right, so our first stop is the pedals. This is the Willwood set that I had previously. I mean, it worked quite nice. It's got the balance bar, 3 master cylinders, front, rear, and clutch. But because of how we did the suspension up there, I have no room for the master cylinders or the reservoirs. So what we're going to do is switch that to a reverse mount style. So line up your pedals, you can see where it goes differently. So what I'm gonna have to do is swap over get all these master cylinders switched over onto the other bracket. All right, so now we're at a good spot with our brake pedal assembly. This will fit right between our crossbar and the springs. So that'll be quite nice there. I might change these out to the remote reservoir, just so then I don't have to worry about these guys in the way, and I'll have more room to go forward and back, depending on what I need. So, how are we gonna attack the rack? This would have to be mounted somewhere around the way of here. And that means our brake pedals would have to be like another 4 inches forward. But we don't got the room for that. So, let's just do a little swap-a-roo. That knuckle to that side, and that knuckle to that side. Then we can mount our rack up in the front. So I got those steering knuckles turned around, and I think that'll work. So then that means we're just going to mount this guy probably like right up here. Get a little bit of an angle going, so then our shaft will go straight through the center. I think that'll work. I've got a plate that I gotta drill out for our mounting, and then we should be set there. All right, so the tie rod ends came in, and I had a section of the threaded tie rod section from the Explorer that I parted out, and it just happens to work just fine for that. So, we also took a section of pipe and sleeved this rod. That way our rod end and pipe that goes with that can just slot right on over there. So that'll essentially be our arms. Now we're just going to have to center up the rack as best as we can and tack it in and hope that we're getting close. I think I'll just grab the pins and pin them into the rack, and then we'll just clean up some stuff so we can zap away and we'll be in the ballpark. Okay, more or less that is rigged up. It's probably not ideal. Might get a touch of bump steer and that type of thing, but you know what? We can only do so much. Honestly, I don't think we have enough suspension movement for it to be a super big problem. Now we just need to figure out where our steering wheel should go. Looks like above that tube is a no-go. Let's see where below the tube sits. Alright, so attached to the rack, we got our coupler piece. We got our rod for our steering wheel. I'm just going to have to rig up my 2x4s to support my seat so I can test out and see where my wheel actually needs to sit. Alright, and our wheel. Actually, this is not bad. Nice. All right, we'll have to get a bar tube across here. All right. So I got that bar tacked in like I was talking about, and then I welded on a little 1/4-inch disc that I have that I cut out too big, similar to some of these other discs that I have. So I just zapped that on there, so I had something to mount the Heim style joint that holds the steering. So now it's just a matter of having to come in here and weld the shaft onto the spline and the shaft onto the steering spline. So I'm probably going to start off just grabbing the TIG and hitting this guy. I can move my sizing brick out of the way. All right, so I got that shaft zapped together. So we're essentially at a point where this becomes a rolling chassis now. So that's kind of great. I think we should just crawl into this thing and see where our steering cranks to, and then we can call it a done day. Alright, that's not too bad. Should have plenty of room for our pedals. I'm kind of liking it. And we just grab our wheel. And like I said, we just grab our wheel. There we go. Jacked in, and we are ready to rip. Actually, that is not bad for cranking radius. Well, that's pretty nice. All right, so looks like all I'll have to do next is put some tubes in to hold this chair up, and then it'll sit in a really nice spot. Excellent. All right, so anyways, thanks for stopping by and watching. Make sure you're subscribed so you can see all the rest of the stuff that we do to this poor little operation. And anyways, maybe we'll get to see you again later.